Hello everyone and welcome to the first video of the channel. And what we're initially going to be covering on this channel is basically just everything that has to do with society, men and women, just anything that has to do with human beings in general. It's initially going to be like a talk show or a debate show where I interact with you guys on like certain topics and would like to hear more of your opinions. What we're covering today is basically what is going on within today's society when it comes to men and women. And if you've noticed, and you've probably watched a lot of videos, and you've probably seen a lot of these talk shows where they talk about basically femininity and masculinity and men and women, and these sort of movements have created a downward spiral for both men and women. You got the men encouraging other men to be masculine and to be, to focus on yourself, and that's heard within both genders basically, and that's creating some sort of separation between both genders and hate, great hate, and it's all becoming superficial, and both genders are encouraging each other to basically take from the other gender, right? So for men, they're like, prioritize yourself, don't respect women, don't, do all these things. And for women, like, become independent, your happiness is not within a man, you don't need a family, just bunch of things like that. And what that's doing is just destroying society to the highest extent. So far, we live in a generation where we have the highest divorces or the highest divorce rate. We live in a generation where the success rate for any relationship is very low, and we live in a generation where both people are just hating themselves so much to the point where, like, how do you recover from that? That's the idea here. Like, what do you do to recover from stuff like that? And the point is like, for both men and women, they fail to realize that you just have to be genuine. Like, there's no more like honesty, no more purity, no more appreciation for anything, right? Men don't appreciate women, and women don't appreciate men, and they don't want them to succeed, and they don't want them to move forward. It's just like they get together, and then it's a competition of like who can get more out of the other, right? Women can get like value, and they can get money, and they can get whatever they want off of the man, and the man is initially just getting sex off of the women and stuff like that. And it's terrible for people that are just looking for something genuine, something pure, people that are just looking for love or something like that, because now you live in a society where you have to be on you have to have your guard up all the time. You have to be smart and be cautious of who you talk to, of what they're trying to do to you. Everyone seems like to be playing a lot of games, and everyone seems like they have a lot to get, right? And it's always me. They never put anybody ahead. They never even allow themselves to develop feelings or have something genuine to another person. And this is like a catastrophe of some sorts, because how do you progress forward? Let's say you're an honorable man, you're an honest man, you're trying your best, you work on yourself, you support your family, and you're just looking for that companionship within a woman. And then you meet a woman, and then that woman basically has been broken before because of society's effect. So she enters the relationship with you, and she decides to basically not treat you fairly. She's like, men ain't shit, I'm just gonna use this man for his time, for his effort, for his money. And then the man pours his entire self into that relationship and ends up getting broken because the woman leaves after she's done, and she no longer finds what she's looking for within you. She's gonna go ahead and look for that within someone else. So she ends up leaving, and you end up being broken because you're like, what have I done, right? The man initially asks himself, like, what have I done to deserve this? And that's the problem. And you got the other way around, right? You get an honest woman, a good woman, and that is just looking for love, right? And she enters a relationship with a man that has been broken before, and that man is only looking for one thing. He's not willing to put effort. He's not willing to spend time with her. He's not willing to do all these, provide all these masculine values to that woman. Ends up just using her for sex. Ends up just using her to get him somewhere, ends up just using her purity, and then the man leaves, right? Or he cheats on her, and then the woman becomes heartbroken, and it switches, it flicks a switch inside of that person where it's like, I can no longer become that person anymore. And people just, after they get broken, they just turn into something that they've always despised and never imagined themselves turning into, which is just this cold, heartless human being that is not willing to do any of those honorable things in a relationship anymore, that is not willing to put any effort anymore, that is not willing to even allow themselves to love anymore. And then they start developing this hate inside of them where they just don't want to give no more. And that's a huge problem. Like, broken women just ruin it for other good women, and broken men just ruin it for other good men. It's like the man now gets into that relationship with that broken woman, and he's struggling, right? He's like, what am I doing wrong? They start blaming themselves. They start, hating what's really going on, and they develop this like deep negative emotion towards the other gender, where they're like, oh, all women are bad, all men are bad. It's just, they generalize it in a way. And what do you do to fix that? How do you fix a society that has been broken like that? It's very difficult. And the biggest problem of it all is the fact that they're sticking by that. This feminine movement or feminist movement or this masculine movement, they're sticking by that. They keep encouraging other men, like, oh, like, women are this, women are that, women are that, like, they're terrible, they're only there to use you, they don't love you for you. And women just encourage women just encourage other women that, oh, men are just trying to use you, men just want you for sex, men are just gonna cheat on you. How do you fix a society that has been broken to this extent? And with that being said, this is today's topic. If I find an answer, I'm gonna update you on another video, I guess. And yeah, it's pretty difficult. So let me know what you think.